right, meeting 6 o'clock. We're going to call the Coos Bay City Council meeting to order. Would you all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Lucinda DeNovo, Councilor DeNovo is online, and the three of us are here, so we do have a quorum, and we can proceed with the meeting. Public comments is the first item on the agenda, and I know that we have some, so public comment period is intended for the public to share ideas and concerns. It is not intended for interactive discussion with the council. There may be opportunities for the public comments during specific agenda items that require a public hearing. Members of the public are requested to confine their remarks to questions or issues under discussion during this time. During any designated comment period, individuals shall not engage in personal attacks, shall not impugn the motives of any speaker, and shall at all times, while in session, conduct themselves in an appropriate manner. No person shall make personal, impertinent, slanderous, or unauthorized remarks or become boisterous while addressing the council. And with that being the case, we have 4 on the agenda this evening. Megan Vander Lindel, is that correct? Yeah, just come on up, please.
My name is Megan, and I'm here to talk about the Northwest Fitness
Okay,
and why he was allowed in the community and what's going to happen going forth to make sure that our kids in our community and our schools are going to be taken care of and protected.
all right.
I'm actually a foster mom and I have a 4-year-old getting ready to go into the school, actually kindergarten. So I need to know that he's going to be safe and that people in power are going to be watching out for him.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Mark Daly. Good evening, Mark.
Hi. I was just wondering if I could get some clarity on fences. Particularly front yard fences, because I see it seems to me a fair amount of fences are running up along front property lines that, you know, some of them go over 3 feet, is my understanding that 3 feet is sort of the limit. But some of them are going up 6, 7 feet high. And I mean, you look at the properties, and sometimes that makes sense. But I have a number of properties and I like putting up fences, and I've always, you know, kind of adhered to the front, the front fence or the front part of the property. And I just want to know, is there some sort of change? I bet there's some safety issues if it's your driveway, you want to have sight lines, and also if it's a corner property, you know, those are probably important to kind of keep a tab on. But if it's changed, has it changed? Or
Council, would you like me to respond?
So if I'm just supposed to make a comment, so let's do this, because we usually don't get into discussion during the comment period. What we'll do is we'll take your comment, and then after everyone's got all the comments, then we'll respond to some of the information and give it back to you. Okay,
awesome.
thanks, Mark.
One of the things about the fences is my understanding, it's supposed to have chain link fences downtown or in the district. I'm not sure what the perimeter is. But I think in an effort to keep homeless people out of that corner at 4th and Anderson,
Right.
the city put up a chain link fence.
Well, not just for that, but we'll get into that too. We'll explain it all. Okay. All right. Kaylee Stetzola?
Kelsey Sedell.
So, yeah, did you want to make a comment about the proclamation, or did you want to make a comment about something else or something related to Pride? Okay. Yeah, the agenda, I think, right? Yes, you're on the agenda to read the proclamation. Tony. All right, thank you.
I'm going to also discuss the same conversation she discussed.
Okay.
I volunteer at Madison School and I had to go through a background check to be allowed to be around children. That man had multiple charges brought against him, less than 10 years apart, several times, and I'm just encouraged by officials around here that the children interact with that man in his gym for school credits. That just seems kind of dangerous to me, and I want to know why that wasn't stopped before he offended again. Not first, not second, but third offense this man has committed now. Thank you.
All right. Is there any other public comments? Okay, no other public comments, I'll close those. So let's get into the fences. So Chelsea, why don't you get into the fences? And the chain link fence, Mark, wasn't put up to keep the homeless out. It was up with the intent for a building project. So we put that up because the city is going out for RFQs or RFPs or both to try to entice a developer to build there. So you can clarify it longer further if you like.
Yes. Sorry, bad voice today. So that chain link fence around Fourth and Anderson was put up for the purpose of kind of securing the site for future development. And you are not incorrect. There is a prohibition on chain link fencing in the urban district, so that remains true, but the city worked through what we obtained a temporary use permit to allow that chain link for the reasons, of security, so that it couldn't be easily penetrated. So it's only good for a temporary period of time. And so the goal is to see that parcel developed and the fence would come down. So that's that. On fence heights in residential zones, I don't know exactly when that changed. It was before my time, but you can have fences up to 8 feet in height all along the property lines, except for within vision clearance areas. So that is currently in the code.
Awesome.
But Mark, as you know, you serve on the planning commission on the council, that's what's pending, that's what the regulation is now, but it can always be changed.
Sure.
And there's a process to go through that if there's a need, or and even if staff felt there's a need, they would bring it and change it, so.
I've just been for consistency, so if some people are doing it, it shouldn't be doing it, we should say something, but apparently it's all okay, so.
All right. Well, thanks for come down and asking and getting some clarification. All right, so Northwest Fitness, specifically you're referencing Henry Delaney, I believe. And so I can tell you that we have never encouraged any interaction with the school. The school district does that on their own. How they do it, that's not anything to do with us. We offer a business license. And you want to go through the business license of how it works, Nate, Nicole, the chief? I don't know who wants to handle it.
Can we respond again? Because,
No.
okay,
Well, the thing is if you want to talk about this later, I'll be glad after the meeting to have a discussion with you. Or if you, I'll give you my number and we can talk later on, have coffee or however you want. I'll be glad to do that. Okay?
Okay.
It's just that we don't want to stall the meeting on
got
the
it.
things. Okay?
be great.
Sure. Okay. Go ahead.
Do it, okay,
Please.
so this might be a multi-pronged approach
Sure.
just for
I
the.
think it's important that people realize that we have a process and that we have to follow certain guidelines. And so if you could explain that, and then Nate can chime in on the legal aspect, or the chief, or both.
Yeah, so our process for business license, a new business owner can come to the counter and they would put in an application. We do some efforts around looking at the building in regards to zoning for the type of business that they're wanting to put there. But it is not my understanding that we do background checks on folks when they come to do business in the city of Coos Bay. It's more about the appropriateness of the business and what where it's going to be located. And if I'm off on that, definitely step in and correct.
And so just before we go to the chief or Nate, also the reason for the business license, make sure that they're conforming in the right zone to do the correct business, right? I mean,
Correct.
am I right?
Correct.
Okay. Chief, anything?
Yeah, no, I think that's correct. Generally, the only time the police department sees business license or anything pertaining to licensing a business is generally through OLC, if they're requesting OLCC permitting as well, which means they're going to serve some form of alcohol, and they're regulated through Oregon liquor commissions. And or we have a couple businesses, specific businesses in our ordinances that require background checks like vehicle for hire, in other words, taxi cab drivers, Uber drivers. And then also there's some specific language about tow companies. And so then we'll provide background checks on those said businesses. But outside of that, we do not do background checks on every business license that's issued through the city.
And in turn, making the most incompetent look legally competent. But Trump is making it impossible for them to do.
What do we have here?
A car.
Okay, Nate, did you want anything to it?
Really don't think that,
Okay, so, and I can just tell you that, this council and this, and the staff, I mean, our priority is to take care of all individuals and citizens, and especially the children, in the schools they go to. So if there's anything that we can do to make sure that that happens, or it's not something that needs to be done, I can assure you that we would do that within our preview and availability to do certain things. So, Jacob's the teacher, and so I can tell you that that is the case. Now, if you want to go into further discussion after the meeting, if you want to hang around, it shouldn't be too long a meeting. I'll be glad to have a discussion with you afterwards. All
Okay,
right?
we will.
Okay, great. All right, next item on the agenda is going to be consideration of appointment to the Coos County Library Board. Council, we have one consideration for Patrick Franks as a North Bend appointments to the Coos County Library Board. Now, this is for the Coos County Library Board. It's not for the Coos County Library District or our own board.
And
Correct.
it's, I'd also say too, it's on the consent calendar.
Oh, all right.
So just when you're making the
Sure.
motion, yeah.
So any clarification, I think it needs a clarification on that, if anyone has any questions about it. Okay, if not, I need a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar.
I will make a motion to confirm the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar as submitted. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. Thank you. The next item was a presentation from the Coos Bay School District update that has been canceled. They will be coming back in August. Action items, consideration to approve Pride Month proclamation. Kelsey. I understand you're going to read the proclamation for us.
Hello,
Hello, how are you this evening?
good, how are you?
Good.
Sure. Proclamation was the month of June was designated Pride Month to commemorate the Stonewall incident, which occurred in June 1969 and is generally recognized as a catalyst of the LGBTQ rights movement. And whereas the official theme for 2025 is the fabric of freedom, and whereas the strength of our community lies in our shared values of respect, compassion, and neighborliness. And as residents of all backgrounds, including those who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer, LGBTQ+, contribute to the social, cultural, and economic life of our town. And whereas our community strives to be a place where families feel supported, young people are encouraged to be themselves, and all citizens are respected for who they are. And acknowledging Pride Month affirms our commitment to civility, mutual understanding, and well-being for all members of our community.
Now therefore, I, Joe Benetti, the mayor of the city of Coos Bay, do hereby proclaim the month of June 2025 as Pride Month in the city of Coos Bay and encourage all residents to uphold the values of kindness, inclusion, and community spirit throughout the month and beyond. With that being the case, can I get a motion, a second, to approve the proclamation?
I will make a motion to approve the proclamation making June 2025 as Pride Month.
Second.
It's moved and seconded to approve the proclamation. And before we take action on the motion, Nicole, did you want to give a little bit of history on it, please?
Sure, I can provide a little bit of background. June has historically been designated as Pride Month, and the city has recognized that for several years. And this is a movement that started as was noted in the proclamation with an incident in June of 1969 and has continued based upon several Supreme Court rulings around regressive laws which also were intended to affirm marriage equality and workplace protections for members of the LGBTQ plus community. The city council and the city as a general has made it important kind of driver for our community to work from a place of diversity, equity, inclusion, and supporting all of the members of our community. I don't think there's beyond that, any more historical. I'm sure there's a lot more details that can be shared, but that's really where this started, was from that initial movement.
Did you want to add anything else besides the proclamation that you read to the?
Just that I'm super thankful. I've been working with Southern Coast Pride for at least 3 years now, and just an amazing community that rallies around this town, this community, and it's a really beautiful thing. So I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Great. Well, thank you for coming up and reading it. With that being the case, I have a motion and a second. I'm going to call for the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
No.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming down and doing that for us.
Mayor Benetti, I'm sorry to interrupt. It sounds like there are people on YouTube that cannot hear. So I don't know if Nicole, if you knew that. So I just wanted to make sure we're getting that addressed.
Say that again, Lucinda, we didn't hear it all.
There are people on YouTube that cannot hear. There's no audio on the YouTube channel.
Thank
Okay.
you. I think we have a IT member working on sound.
All right. Thank you, Lucinda. All right, so presentation and approval of 2025 fall road repair and 2025 fall pothole repair products. I'm always thrilled that we have this, since in 2016, I ran on fixing potholes in streets, so the more, the better. Greg.
So as a part of the continued efforts of the council to improve city streets and enhance the drivability and safety of its constituents of our community, staff continually identifies streets that need repair. Staff is recommending the following 2 projects to be completed this fall. The first project, excuse me 1 second. Can't advance through the my presentation without it. The first project of the 2025 fall road project. There it is. This project will focus on a ground roadway of approximately 8,500 square feet of paved surface across 5 roadway sections throughout Coos Bay. The road section include the following roads. 2 streets on the east side, Bayview Drive and Cedar Drive, located west of 16th Avenue. These 2 areas of the project will rehabilitate approximately 29,400 square feet of roadway. 1 street in the downtown area, 3rd Street between Commercial and Market Street. This area of the project will rehabilitate approximately 7,500 square feet of roadway. This project will continue the 1st Street project from returning in 2021. And create a transition to Market Avenue. The next 2 streets are the Empire area. The 1st street between Lakeshore Drive and the Street. This area of the project will rehabilitate approximately 22,500 square feet of roadway, and South Morrison Street between Newmark and Michigan Avenue. This area of the project will rehabilitate approximately 20,000 square feet of roadway. Next, we move into the 2025 fall pothole repair project. This project will address and repair 39 potholes, approximately 18,040 square feet at various locations throughout the city, with 5 large potholes on the east side, approximately 7,500 square feet, 15 large potholes in Empire, about 4,170 square feet, and the remaining 19 potholes in the central portion of the city, approximately 6,370 square feet. Potholes of these sizes are beyond the capacity of the city staff to competitively make repairs in-house. I do have in my display a list of potholes. You guys also have it in your agenda packet. I can answer any questions that you might have regarding these potholes. We do have a list of them in the areas, with the square footage, for each area. We have, like I said, 18,000 in the community at whole, so.
So are these projects, the streets and the potholes being paid for by their tough?
By the tough dollars, correct.
Okay, so that's transportation utility fee that we initiated some time ago that generates about 1.2 million now. Is that about right? Okay, sorry,
I don't know.
11 million. But anyway, it's strictly for cost for the streets. I mean, it's not anything for our labor in-house. So how that is, I mean, is that true or not? Okay, so Greg was hesitant. I wasn't sure that maybe I'm wrong. So when we fix a pothole, if I understand correctly and remember correctly, we grind it out so it saves costs, so we can do more potholes, and then we contract out to have them filled. Is that right or not?
It's the size of the potholes, sizes. We typically contract those out. A lot of potholes, staff is approximately repairs to approximately 2 this year. So far, at staff level, but some of these potholes, this pothole project, they're just too large for us to competitively do it. Time, labor, materials, it's just exceeds our capabilities. And so we go out to bid for these projects. So staff does an amazing job with what we have. And so we try to knock those out as best we can, the smaller ones, but these size projects, we have to go out for bid.
And so how do we determine which potholes and what streets to do?
How do we determine? First criteria is size, the size of the potholes, the distance, how much roadway it's going to affect. That's the biggest driver for it. And then also the level of service that that road may receive is one of the other contributing factors.
All right. Questions, council? Anyone? All right, with that being the case, can I get a motion to go ahead and approve this, please?
I will make a motion that we approve the 2025 fall road and pothole repair projects.
I'll second.
To move a second to approve the 2025 fall road repair and 2025 fall pothole repair projects. And those are going to be 517,000 approximately and 235,000, both with 15% contingency, correct?
Correct.
All right. Any other comments? Hearing none, I'm going to call for the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing that passes. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. All right, next item, consideration to implement a no parking zone along Kentucky Avenue between Madison and South Morrison Street. Jennifer.
Well, thank you. So start off with some background. A land use approval was given to a residential care facility in 1997. The facility is located on the 900 block of Kentucky Avenue between Madison and South Morrison Street. So as part of the land use approvals, the facility was to pave that portion of Kentucky Avenue. The paving limits in the land use approvals were identified as a 28-foot wide section. So that denotes 2 10-foot travel lanes and an 8-foot parking on one side. The land use approvals indicated that a no parking zone would be on the south side of Kentucky since the facility had ample parking proposed. The facility was constructed, but the no parking zone was not installed. Staff has no record as to why this did not happen. So now we fast forward to today. Staff received a citizen concern that when parking occurs on both sides of the section of Kentucky, it is difficult for cars to safely pass one another. So fire code requires a clear 20-foot travel way. Staff agreed this was a safety concern, but understands this change could affect the memory care facility and the residential homes in this area. So staff sent out 116 letters discussing the issue. All comments received were back in favor of establishing this no parking zone. Staff also coordinated with the residential care facility. They are not in opposition of the city establishing a no parking zone in front of their facility, and they will encourage their visitors and require their staff to use the on-site parking. There is code language that allows council by resolution to establish no parking zones. So staff is asking council to consider establishing this no parking zone. If approved, staff will order and install the no parking signs.
Questions for Jennifer or any other staff about this?
I am curious, why might this have not happened initially? Like what kinds of things cause these sorts of things not to be implemented when?
So 1997, it was just before my time. That box wasn't checked. I'm sorry, I just don't have a better answer.
I have some 2 cents just because I've been to the facility is you come down that front street on Kentucky and it does not appear there's any parking for the facility. So people tend to park there because then they walk right into the front door. What you're not aware of is down on the further end, is that north? So that's south, I guess, or it looks like west to me. Anyway, there's a large parking lot down there where there is parking, but if you're not aware of that, you would just park right there in front.
Okay.
Because there's 2 parking spots in that little open spot there, and then that's access to the front door. So.
But Jennifer, I mean, to Jacob's point, the reason that we have this forum or this process is to change things that are necessary. Even if we had maybe had no parking at this time, maybe it's something that would allow parking if it was necessary. So it's always a fluid process that can be addressed to the council or staff. Am I right?
Absolutely, especially when there's a safety concern like this one. It was the intent for that south side to be no parking. We found that language in the land use approvals.
Okay. Yeah, I know there's a question on 10th Street that was brought up on date and 10th about having no parking. And it was just decided that, you know, it wouldn't make any sense to eliminate all of that parking and that wouldn't really improve anything. So anyway, that's how I think it works most of the time. Not everyone is always happy, but we try to do what's best and what makes the most sense for safety. Any other questions? Anyone? All right, with that the case, can I get a motion to implement resolution 25-16?
I make a motion that we approve resolution 25-16, creating a no parking zone along the south side of the 900 block of Kentucky Avenue between Madison and South Morrison Street.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and second to approve resolution 25-16. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. All right, that being the case, we're going to get the city manager report, but I want to let everyone know that we are having technical difficulties with our sound and YouTube. We do have our IT guy here trying to get things figured out. We've ordered some new pieces of equipment and hopefully we will get it done soon. With that, city manager report, Nicole.
Thank you. First wanted just to acknowledge stepping on both the chief and I have been in Coquille today. Opportunity to participate in a trial. So beyond that, I wanted to share a couple of things. And during the budget committee meeting, there was some concern about staffing. Specifically in the finance department, I just wanted to share, we've been through a process and had some really great applicants, so we should probably have a decision made about that very soon. Additionally, you know, seeing some movement in staffing at the front counter, we have a new job that would be great, picking up things really well. So there's progress being made. So I wanted to share a couple of events or things that I participated in since the last meeting. I participated in Southern Oregon Economic Development Summit, both in the tours that we did here locally. Lucky to have the Coquille Indian Tribe host us, the group here for the tour section at the Mill Casino. We got to participate in a salmon bake there. Well, yeah, you're right. It's not the Mill Casino anymore. The Coquille Casino, I think. And then the summit moved over to Canyonville and at the Seven Feathers Casino there. And I was a presenter there speaking to the efforts that this council has undertaken to find a way to be better participants in development in our community. So reducing barriers, how to get to yes, essentially, is the kind of bottom line. And it's drawing enough attention outside of Coos Bay, and specifically the grant that we're using to kind of do this work through HUD, the Distress Community Technical Assistance. I wanted to give you update on the Scout Cabin, which is now the Marshfield Community Center. What is it? Mingus Park Community Center.
Community
Yeah.
building.
It is on, it's been approved to be on the historic register. There will be the mayor's walk there this month and also an open house later. So information will be going out about that. Just a huge thank you to Coco Sutton. She has just been a champion on that project. And just really proud of where that is potentially gonna get to move forward with. Also, 4th of July in the park is kind of underway with Downtown Association, trying to get that going. That's right around the corner. Amazing. We're in June already. And that's what I had on my list.
All right, council comments, Jacob.
Hey. So first, I just want to say, it's in the line of potholes. I've been very excited to see the repaving going on Ocean. And then I had somebody reach out to me recently and say they were very happy with the fixes on Elrod as well, or just off of it. So people are loving it. But then also, I just wanted to give some school updates. Our East Side principal, Kara Davidson, just won a Principal of the Year award. And we also have high school graduation this Saturday at 6 p.m. at Marshfield's gym. So just a shout out for that. Congratulations, grads.
Great. Troy?
No comments tonight.
Lucinda?
No comments this evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thanks. A couple things. First of all, I understand that we got some bids on the pump station for Timber Cove. Jennifer, can you give us an update of where we're at and how that proceeds?
Sure. We opened up 2 bids today. They were for, would you like me to give the amounts? They were for 3.5 million and 3.8 million. The 3.5 million we are reviewing. We're verifying that the bid is responsive. We're checking on qualifications. We hope to have that done by tomorrow. If we do, we'll issue a notice of intent to award. There's a 7-day protest period. And then we'll come back to council to get the contracts approved. We hope to be under contract with the council, or excuse me, with the contractor in the middle of July. Or June, excuse me. It's going by fast.
Yes, but we're moving forward on it, and so that'll help with homes being ready to start being developed or built, I should say, right? Also, I know I'm harping on this all the time. Are we anywhere, any information on the American Building on doing anything or being any possibility at all?
I have not made any further contact with the owner of that building. I did have a conversation with another developer yesterday, and he is actually going to start consulting for local housing nonprofit for development of the downtown, very specific. So he can come in and help property owners kind of navigate and maybe rethink their plans are so that they're working on things that are actually doable in the building. So more to come, but not really any momentum.
I guess my concern is safety and being in compliance. Nicole, you and I made got a tour of this thing 4 or 5 years ago. It was deplorable. I don't even understand how it can continue to operate under that condition. I know it's deteriorated. There's been no upgrades to it. This developer, the building owner, the current building owner, who was also offered considerable money from Main Street grant and urban renewal funds to help facilitate getting this thing fixed up and moving forward. And he basically told us to go away, which is very heartening and disheartening to me because this thing needs attention. So I guess, where do we go from here? How do we move forward? Do we start going through and doing an inspection to see what they're missing and are failing on and start taking action? Is that something we can do?
So right now, the spaces that are in use are, as far as we know, meeting code. And they do not have those other areas which are concerning in use. That doesn't help with the overall safety and, you know, the longevity of the building, obviously those needs, you know, need to be.
So I mean, right, I mean,
addressed.
the roof can be leaking and the upper floors were gonna be deteriorating and building will get to a point where it's gotta be condemned and torn down, which we can't afford to do because it's in a spot that we can't do. So I guess I'm frustrated to the point where there's got to be a way to do something here.
Okay.
I would hope. Nate. I know, but I mean, yeah, I mean, we got, I keep referencing the Lockhart building, but that's exactly what's gonna happen. But with this one, we're not talking just the American building that would be affected by this. We were talking about North Point, which is connected to, and how do we do that? And then you got South Coast Office Supply. I mean, all these are connected buildings there. So this facility is affecting the whole area down there.
Well, if you remember, Lockhart Building was connected as well, and
Correct.
we had to be very careful when the demo was, just to make sure that that wall remained in place. And we had to do some repairs afterwards, which was expected. But I mean, the reality is that the area that's being occupied right now meets code. And there's just not a whole lot else we can do unless this whole building as a whole is deemed dangerous or a dangerous building, basically. And I don't think we're at that point. At least my understanding is we're not at that point yet.
But if we don't go in and inspect it, we know.
Well, we may have that, we could look into the possibility of doing another inspection. I inspected it with you guys at that time and, it was pretty ugly.
It was horrible. And so I don't even know how it was able to be occupied, period. So the lower floor, because what's up above affects what's down below.
Well, yeah, I'm not an engineer, so.
All right. Well, I think it's a problem that we need to try to resolve. So anyway, that being the case, I will continue to bring this up because this affects the taxpayers. I mean, that's the bottom line. The Lockhart building was over $2 million is what we were involved in, not costs. And I don't think it's fair to the taxpayers. So. Okay, I also want to bring up that it's been brought to my attention that a member of our community has passed away recently. Andrew Licati. He served on the Coos Bay design team, assistance team. He's an architect in this area, very involved in school activities, and it's just it's sad. And I just want to give my condolences to his family. So he will be missed, and I worked with him in many other projects. So I was just sad to hear that. And those are the end of my comments this evening. Anyone else? That's it. We have no urban renewal meeting, so I will go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you for attending. Have a good evening.
Thank you.